Okay, so the next part, what we want to do is we want to make sure that our character can jump. So what we want to do is want to put all of these folders into a file. So we're just going to click on the folder and we're going to call that Fred main, because our character is now called Fred. So all we want to do is we want to duplicate Fred, so duplicate group, and we'll call that Fred1. Okay, and then we'll hide the main Fred layer, and then we'll go into the body section here. And then what we want to do is we want to click edit, transform, and warp. And then all we want to do is kind of bring the shape in a little bit. Okay, so now we've got Fred main and Fred 1. So with Fred main, we're just going to bring him down a little bit. Oh, that's done it on the other layer. Just undo that for a second. Click Control T and make sure it's the correct Fred. So Fred, we see Fred main and then Fred 1. And we can already see the animation starting to take place. Okay, so then what we do is we take Fred 1 and we duplicate that group and then call that Fred 2. Okay, and then what we've got is we've got the Fred 2 layer in which we want it to go a little bit further inwards. So warp again. And we'll just bring him up and just oddly shape him a little bit. Okay, and then maybe we'll play around with the mouth, so the mouth could be slightly smaller. So we'll just click shift and scale it down and bring it up a little bit. Okay, and then the last thing we need to do is just click Control T to transform and bring him up a little bit more. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got Fred main, Fred 1 and Fred 2. Okay, so we can see how that kind of builds. So from Fred main, Fred 1 and Fred 2. So what we want to do now is we want to duplicate these. So we right click and we click duplicate layers and we click OK. And then what we want to do with these ones is just hide them for a minute. So we're just going to put them in a file and call it Fred master. Okay, so now what we want to do with these is flatten the images so that we can animate them. So we just click merge group, and merge group again. Okay, so now we've got these sequences. We've got, oh, we need to hide this. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So if we hide them up, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now what we want to do is we've obviously got these sections, but Fred copy we need another duplicate of, because we also want Fred to land. So that would be here, and then we want Fred on the ground again to last slightly longer, so that would then go to the top. Okay, so now we've got no layers and we want to see them all. So now what we need to do is go to Window and to Timeline and then create a new video timeline. And now what we can see here, if I can expand it up, is the timeline of our character. So what we want to do is we want to zoom in and give them about 3 frames each. So if we do it like that, what we can then do is we can click on the Fred copy and just cut it. Click delete to remove that frame. Do the same again, so 3 frames, click on Fred, click on that, and then click delete. And we work our way up. So 3 frames each time, 1, 2, 3, and then cut, delete, 1, 2, 3, click delete, remove, and then bring it across, and then 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then delete again. And then delete this layer. And that is all the layers. So now what we have, is this. Okay, so now what we want to do is want to be able to loop it. So we just click loop playback, zoom out to where this section is, and then we just want to bring that section to here. So that will then loop the playback, and we'll see that when we zoom out, we've got this nice little animation of jumping. Nice and simple. So this is the start, and this is what we would bring into Unity. Okay, great.